Mindful Life Practice.
So for our yin practice, I think most of you have practiced with me before. This class is different from our more vigorous classes, as it is much more still. You're gonna hold poses for a long duration of time. We're gonna get some deep stretches. Slow does not necessarily mean simple or easy, right? Yin poses can be hard. Our body's not used to holding them for a long duration of time. We're gonna start in a seated meditation. You might wanna have some cushions around just to prop yourself up. And you're gonna come into a crisscross with your palms resting on your lap. And then just kind of lengthen up through your spine and balance your head on both shoulders. And close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Just allow yourself to settle into stillness. And let your body be alert, but relaxed. And then just be aware as you breathe in and breathe out. Just mentally note the thoughts, the feelings, the noises, the smells, the physical sensations, like maybe itching, temperature, pain, or discomfort. Anything that you experience. And don't try to analyze what you're observing. Just be present. Be alert, be watchful as you kind of witness what's going on in your mind. And try to observe the quality of each sensation, if it has one, and categorize it. Like I have a bit of a tightness in my shoulders. I just had a coffee before this class, so I have a little bit of a coffee aftertaste. I hear a very, very distant sound of, I was gonna say cars on the road, but I just looked outside and there's like 0 cars on the road right now because we're all at home. So maybe it's just the sound of wind and air. Just allow yourself to be present with whatever sensation or feeling or repetitive thought without judgment. Until maybe it fades away or lessens in intensity. And then let's try to bring our awareness into the here and now. So taking 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Breath out through the mouth. And one more in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. So we're going to kind of theme our practice today around the 4th yama in the Yoga Sutras. And this yama is Brahmacharya. It's funny that I didn't theme my yoga class yesterday around Brahmacharya because in retrospect, I realize it relates really well. Brahmacharya is a commitment to moderation. And I think in our modern everyday lives, we're all about more, busy, you know, extra large French fries. And what Brahmacharya asks of us is to kind of step back from these tendencies to have more, to hoard more, and see if we can adopt a bit of minimalism in our lives. So if you want to take on an intention surrounding that, maybe it's just to let go, maybe it's to be moderate and find the middle way within your practice. Or maybe it's something else, whatever it is. Let's take one more round of breath. And then we're going to warm up today with a little bit of mindful movement. Just to kind of let our bodies get our wiggles out before we take stillness. Okay, so when you inhale, let's take both palms up towards the sky. And then exhale, land your right fingertips, take a breath in. And then exhale all the way over to the side, lateral side bend. Breathe in, come all the way back through center. And then take the opposite way. So land the left palm, right arm reaches overhead. Inhale, come all the way back up, reach both palms up overhead. Let's take it into a twist. So left palm lands on the right knee, right fingertips behind your back, gaze over the right shoulder, take a breath. And then inhale, come all the way back through center. And then twist the opposite way. Take one more breath, come all the way back up through center. And then just connect your palms into your heart center, thumbs into the heartbeat. Let's just tilt our gaze low and then take a breath in. And then a breath out. And then just take your pillows off to the side. Come onto your hands and knees. And we'll move through a couple cat-cow flows. So inhaling, tilt the pelvis, lift your heart. And then exhale, curl the spine, tuck the chin. So this flow sequence, my mom told me the other day that her physiotherapist has been like highly recommending it for the patients who are, you know, sitting all day. Apparently it's the best thing you can do for your spine. So I know most of you guys are doing this a lot with me anyway. You're coming to my yoga classes a lot, but if you are having like back soreness from being seated all day, this is a great thing to do. And let's take one more round of breath. And then come all the way up. Take your right arm up towards the sky. And then let's thread the right arm under, land onto your right cheek and shoulder, and drop into your twist. And then come all the way up. And then we'll twist the opposite way. So take your left arm up towards the sky and then thread the left arm under. Staying for 3 and 2 and then 1. Come all the way up. And let's take one more pose. While we're here on the hands, we're gonna come into puppy pose. We're not gonna stay here super long, but just a little bit. So you're gonna walk your palms forward. This is a back bend. And you're gonna take your heart down towards the mat. And maybe you rest the chin, or maybe you rest the forehead. You're just kind of letting your spine hammock down towards the mat. Let's take one more round of breath. And then we're just gonna come all the way up and then set up for our first yin pose. So the first pose we're gonna take tonight, it is a butterfly pose. You're gonna bring your soles of feet together. If you want to be sitting on like a cushion underneath your hips, that is one option. And then take a breath in with your spine lengthening up. And then as you exhale, you're gonna start to fold forward. And I'm just gonna use my phone to set a little timer so I know where we're at. But generally, we hold our yin postures from about 3 to 5 minutes. And the purpose of this is to get deep into the tissues of the body. And there's 3 main things I want you to know about Yin Yoga. Our goal here is to find your edge, to stay a while, and to commit to stillness. So what does it mean by find your edge? It means find a shape that is pushing you into a little bit of discomfort, but it's not pushing you into pain. Okay, if there's any pain, back off, take another shape. But if you're just feeling a slight discomfort, can you lean into that? And can you sit with that discomfort? And can you resist the urge to fidget or move or check your phone or text your friend? And then can you commit to this stillness and stay a while through it? So if you're finding that your head needs a bit of support, you can always like stack up some books and place them underneath your forehead. That's a great option. In the yoga studio, when I teach this class, we get like a million props. We have bolsters, which are like big, thick, pillowy type of things, very much harder than a soft pillow. We also use yoga blocks in the studio. But when I teach yin at home, I'm aware that a lot of us don't have these props. So just kind of be creative and use what you can find around your house. Or you can also do it without props as well. So Brahmacharya, it's often translated as chastity, like being celibate. I don't know if that's ever the intention that Patanjali had in mind. That's the author of the Yoga Sutras, which is this ancient text that that I study. I think the great thing about these Yoga Sutras is that they give you like suggested frameworks of ways to live, but they don't tell you how to do it, right? The first yama that we learned about during this 30-day yoga challenge, it's called ahimsa, and ahimsa translates to non-violence. And that can be interpreted in many ways. For 9 years, I was a student of yoga and I was not a vegetarian. And it was just this past year that I decided, you know what, ahimsa means to me that I want to be a vegetarian. And so it's totally open to you to define like how you're going to live these ethical commitments. So Brahmacharya, I think, rather than, you know, referring to celibacy, which is kind of impossible for us in the modern world, it really should be interpreted as a call for us to practice moderation. Right? And we live in a world that struggles with moderation. Right? I'm constantly getting these pre-approved, like $30,000 credit card. You know, I get these emails saying, you've been approved for a loan. I'm like, I don't want this. Right? I don't want to be set into debt. But we live in this world where it's like more, bombards us, all of us every day. All right, we've been in this pose for over 5 minutes now. So take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then you're gonna come all the way up out of this shape. And in between my yin poses, I always offer a rebound. So you might come up to seated. Maybe you lie back in a shavasana. Maybe you take a child's pose. No right or wrong, but let's just give it 1 minute. And the intention with this rebound is to feel how this shape has shifted the sensations in your body. Do your hips feel slightly more open? Maybe your breath is more easy. Maybe your mind is more calm. And then take One more round of breath. And then we're going to move into our next pose, which is going to be a half butterfly. Okay, so we're going to be getting nice and into the hips tonight. You're going to take your left sole of foot to the inside of the right foot, or sorry, the right leg. You're going to lengthen your right leg out. And I'm still sitting in a cushion. If you want to have a cushion here on your leg, you can as well. And you're basically just going to start to fold your body over that extended right leg. And so it's like a bit of a hamstring stretch. You can lay your body down on this kind of makeshift bolster. And then I'm going to set a timer for us as well. We're not going to hold this one for 5 whole minutes because we're going to do it on both sides. So we'll keep it closer to, 3 or 4. So the reason why I bring up, yesterday I could have themed my class on Brahmacharya. Obviously, one area of my life where I massively failed to moderate was my alcohol consumption for many years. And I was the party girl that was frequently the most drunk person at the party. And in my head, I had this whole rationalization for it of like, I am a modern yoga girl. I'm this modern yoga teacher. I'm so fun. I party and then I also teach yoga. And obviously my drinking was causing a lot of stress in my life, financial stress, exhaustion. Once I quit drinking, I had 90% less health problems than I did when I was a drinker. And so that was a big area of my life where I wasn't practicing moderation. And I know for everyone, it's different, right? Some people have no issues with alcohol. Some people can moderate this fine. Or in a way, they can drink in a way that doesn't deplete them. But I think for everyone, they all have their different things, right? I had a very best friend who was my roommate at one point who, was in and out of the hospital with anorexia. And for her, it was a moderation issue around the food that she put in her body. Right? And for her, it's the opposite. I was drinking to excess and she was limiting her consumption as much as possible. And in either way, it's a struggle to find the middle way. Right? So maybe thinking about doing a quick inventory of your own life. How am I with food? Am I energized by it? Am I obsessed by it? Do I feel liberated around the choices I make with food? Do I have a lot of stress and anxiety about it? And let's take one more round of breath here. 4 minutes in that pose on that side. And then we're going to directly come up. And then just directly switch into the opposite side. So right foot goes to the inside of the left leg. Set up your bolster or your pillow. And then when you're ready, just lying your body down. And I think in this particular time that we're going through, all of our relationships around all of this stuff have probably shifted. Like I mentioned at the start of the class, I was actually having a lot of trouble eating this past month. And I think it's because my daily routines were just gone all of a sudden. And I was in a super good routine of, you know, going to the salad bar on campus and having a big salad every lunch and bringing my protein, my vegetarian protein to add in. And once that was gone from me, I just, instead of, you know, adding in something else, I was just like eating nothing. I have my smoothie bowl and my soup. And sometimes it takes like a deep reflection, talking to a life coach or a health coach to realize like, man, I just need to cook a big lasagna and eat it. And that's what I did, by the way, Brian. It was awesome. So we can go on to kind of examine our relationships with so many things in our life. You know, with money, with work, with time management. With our hobbies, with our exercise. Whatever it is that fills up our days. And Brahmacharya is really, it's just a feeling. It's a feeling of freedom when we've let whatever it is go that is holding us back. Right? When we can eat to live instead of living to eat. When we can work to live, not live to work. When we can find the middle ground in our yoga practice. Strength and ease. Be in this pose for like 30 more seconds, like 5 more breaths. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then we're going to come all the way up and find a rebound pose. Now a 1-minute rebound. This time I'm going to lay down on my back, but you can also take seated. You can take child's pose, whatever really. It's almost like you're just saturating in. that pose and how it impacted your body. About 30 seconds more. And the next pose that we're going to come into, we're going to take a forward fold. And I'm going to give you two different options for this. If you come to my yoga regularly, you know I'm obsessed with taking dangling pose. I'm going to give you another option in case you don't want to do dangle. Okay, so if you want to just come into caterpillar pose, this is a seated forward fold. And you can prop yourself up with some pillows and then just kind of lay your heart over these pillows. Okay, so this is option one. This is like a bit more restorative, a bit less intense. And the pose that I love is dangling. And I just find that gravity kind of does the work. So you're standing up and you're forward folding. And then you can just dangle your arms like this, bend the knees a lot. In the studio, we often prop ourselves up. So if you want to like walk over to a couch or a chair and support yourself like that, you can also do that. So either way, an inward forward fold for about 3 minutes. Something interesting, something separate from Brahmacharya happened to me today was, I don't know about you guys, but when this whole coronavirus thing happened, I canceled all of my Google Calendar events for 4 weeks because we were told that the school would be closed for 4 weeks. So I was like, okay, 4 weeks, life will go back to normal. Anyway, this was week 5. And all of my Google Calendar events are up and running because I thought this week I would be back to my normal life. And so anyway, I'm just here in the middle of this yin class and my Google Calendar just popped up reminding me that I'm supposed to go to the room to teach my yin yoga class there. This has been so much longer than I think any of us anticipated. And I do think it's going to go a lot longer than we expected yet. And something that resonated with me today, shared it on Instagram. Did I screenshot it? It said yoga is really about learning to breathe through discomfort, both on and off the mat. And this is our practice. Our yoga is now. This is our practice. Our yoga is now. Take one more round of breath. And then you're gonna slowly make your way into that rebound. Whatever it is, I'm gonna take child's pose this time because we have not taken a child's pose yet this class. This is one of my all-time favorite yoga poses. Actually, something about child's pose. This past summer, I became like really obsessed with barre, really obsessed with going to the gym. And so my yoga practice was very yin. I wasn't doing any power yoga. It was all yin. And every time I entered the class and ended the class, when the teacher would cue us into Shavasana, I had this pull to drop into child's pose. And I think it's because my life was so busy and so go, 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 and everything was about like strength. And there's something about this shape that just kind of calmed me down. Anyway, I've been reminded of that recently because I typically cue people into a traditional Shavasana at the end of class. And I've realized that that is not suited for everyone, right? I'm the prime example this past summer, doing child's pose when the teacher told me not to. So that's kind of why I give so many options for your rebound, because it can really be whatever you're feeling or craving on that day. All right, take one more breath. And then the last shape that we're going to take it on both sides. This is your twisted root. So I'm going to give you a couple of options actually. So twisted root, this is a nice deep twist. You're going to come onto your back. And what you're going to do is cross your right thigh over top of your left. You're going to shift your hips away towards the left, and then both knees are going to drop over. Wait, I'm wrong. Okay, right thigh is on top of the left thigh. You're going to shift your hips to the right. Okay, and then knees drop to the left. Okay, so right thigh is on top. Hips go to the right. And then the knees go to the left. Okay, if your knees are floating or if this feels like too deep for your back, then just uncross the legs, or if you can't figure out what I'm cueing, if the twist is too complicated, just stack your legs and you can put them on a pillow or on the earth, okay? And you know what? Me making that mistake just reminded me of something that happened this week, and I want to share it with you guys. I'm going to be here for 3 minutes. I'm just setting my timer. So I shared this with the people that came to my barre class on Sunday, but I think obviously not all of you are there, and I think it's worth resharing. So I just made a mistake in my teaching, right? We're human, we make mistakes. Earlier this week, I made a mistake in my video. I'm a school teacher, I teach grade 1. And I made a mistake in the video that I sent to all the grade 1s. I was teaching about nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and I think I underlined walk as a noun. And then as I was reading through it again, I realized that it was a verb. I've since Googled it and learned that noun can be walk can be a noun or a verb based on the context, but that's not the point of this story. Anyway, I made a mistake. And I didn't edit it out of my film. I corrected myself, but I didn't edit it out of the film because A, it takes a really long time. And B, I think modeling making mistakes is like a really good thing for the kids to see. Anyway, a parent emailed the school. He did not agree. subject line was concerned about the quality of education my child is receiving, questioning my abilities and my qualifications as an educator. And I got really upset naturally. My immediate reaction was to tell my boss that, you know, maybe I shouldn't be making these videos. Obviously, I don't know my nouns and verbs and adjectives, and maybe I should just be downloading a video off of YouTube and sending it to the kids. And I went for a walk, and I took some time to have a reflection. And something that popped into my head was this story or this, you know, text that was being circulated on social media probably about 6 months ago. Let's stay on this side for one more breath. And then you're just gonna come all the way up through center, unwind, uncross, and then I'm gonna cue you to the opposite side. So you know, option one, you can just drop your stacked knees. If you're like, I don't need this complication in my life. If you wanna take the twisted route, it is left thigh on top of right. You shift your hips towards the left, and then you drop both knees over to the right. Okay, I'll say it one more time because I know that whenever I teach in the yoga studio, there's always someone confused. Left thigh over top, hips go to the left, and then knees go to the right. And then your shoulders are anchored and your gaze is the opposite way. So this is what I read. You are holding a cup of coffee when someone comes along and bumps into you, making you spill your coffee everywhere. Why did you spill the coffee? You spilled the coffee because there was coffee in your cup. And had there been tea in your cup, you would have spilled the tea. So the point is, whatever is inside the cup, that's what's going to spill out. So when life comes along and it shakes you, which will happen, whatever is inside of you, it's going to come out. And it's easy to fake it until you get rattled. So we have to ask ourselves, what is in my cup? And when life gets tough, what spills out? Is it joy? Is it grace, gratefulness? Is it peace? Is it humility? Or does anger, does bitterness, does harsh words, do reactions come out? And each of us have to choose. Right? So I don't know what's going on in this person's life who sent that email. Right? Maybe they lost their job. Maybe their home life is very stressful in this quarantine. Maybe someone that they love is very sick, and maybe they have a lot of anger and tough feelings that are coming out. I don't know, and I cannot control it. Right? I can't control that he sent that email, but what I can control is how I react to it. I'm not going to stop making videos just because this person didn't like to see me make a mistake. Okay, so today let's work on filling our cups. Filling our cups with whatever we want to spill out. Whether it's gratitude, whether it's forgiveness, whether it's joy. Words of affirmation, kindness, gentleness, the love for others. And take one more breath. And then let's come all the way back into center, unwind. Give yourself a little hug. And if there's any last movements or postures that would seal off your yoga class nicely, feel free to take them now. And then you can choose what is a restful shape for your final meditation. If you want to do Shavasana, if you want to do child's pose. Legs up the wall. I'm going to be seated. I know we started with this theme of Brahmacharya tonight, moderation, and then I kind of tangented into other stories that are irrelevant. But I think at the end of the day, what we need to know about this yama is that a lot of us associate moderation with repression, right? Why would you want to punish yourself by quitting drinking alcohol? Or why would you want to punish yourself by not eating meat? And the truth is, for me, the greatest joy in my life came for when I was finally able to moderate these things that were causing me so much harm. And I mean, in reality, for me, I couldn't even moderate. I had to totally quit, but that was just for me, and for everyone, it looks different, right? So I think we all know the ways that we self-sabotage, and our hearts yearn for peace. And maybe if you've kind of explored and thought about something that you're ready to let go of, and in a way that you're going to establish this in your life and in your heart. Took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hill, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the season of my life? Oh, oh, I don't know. Oh, oh, I don't know. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life here around you. But time makes you bolder. Children get older. I'm getting older too. And you're getting older too. So take my love and you take it down. You climb a mountain and you turn around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, the landslide will bring it down. Just give yourself a little wake up. And when you're ready on your own time, come up to seated. And we'll join together with our hearts, our palms connected at our hearts, a length through our spine and softness through the shoulders, tuck through the chin. And so if you want to join with an Om sound, we will inhale and then exhale, and then inhale through to make the Om. So taking a breath in, and then a breath out, and a breath in. Om. We close with the intention that this yoga practice serves and benefits not just ourselves, but the individuals around us and the individuals around them. May all beings be happy, be healthy, be free, have nice things filling up and overflowing out of their cups. And may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. Om Shanti 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 Peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.